Oh, fuck. Welcome to the one, the only, the easily repeatable and low effort podcast, the College Dropout. I am your host, Jay. Um, so this is probably the pilot episode of the podcast. Um, I was literally sitting in my college writing course when she was talking about expressing yourself and being creative, and this was probably the first thing to pop into my mind, and that's why we're here. I'm sure you really enjoy my low effort PNG. I personally, it's probably one of the most deep and emotional images I've ever encountered in my life. It's just so raw and visceral, and it is going to be the thing that you're looking at. I don't know how to edit, so yeah, fuck yourself, basically. So, I have some talking points here now that we're done with the introduction and we can stop pretending like any of this really matters. So, my first topic that I wanted to talk about today was the Amazon rainforest and all that hullabaloo. Yeah, so, like, yeah, on one hand, right, there's the whole, like, free market economy, capitalist perspective that you can take on this. This is like Brazil basically putting on their big boy pants and saying, hey, everybody, we can destroy the planet too, you know? And considering that we were basically just on a roll with shooting ourselves in the fucking foot as a species, I think that this is probably one of the most drastic moves that we can make. Like, in my eyes, right? Like, accelerationists. I don't know if any of you fucking know what accelerationists are. I don't even know if I know what an accelerationist really is. However, in regards to capitalism, I think that this is probably the biggest move an accelerationist could ever ask for, in the lines of destroying humanity and picking up the pieces and creating a true utopian socialist society out of the rubble. I think this is the major first step. However, on the other hand, there really is nowhere to fucking go if we destroy the planet. Like, dead set. Like, do you know how fucking, like, fucked we'd be if we just destroyed the Amazon rainforest in an attempt to disestablish, like, the current governmental systems of most established nations? Like, it wouldn't be good. Like, we wouldn't be able to survive as a species. But, like, hey, whatever disestablishes the government in the most effective and quick way, I guess. Fucking, I don't know. But see, here's the thing. Here's my major hot take on this whole situation. Whatever perspective that you have, whether or not you think that the fires are purposeful, they're just wildfires, what have you, global warming, capital, what have you, I mean, global warming is technically a symptom of, widespread, unchecked capitalism. But hey, that's an argument for another day. What I'm saying is it personally warms my deeply conceited, frozen, nihilistic heart to know that I am currently thousands of dollars in debt to both the government and a privatized university, for practically no future at all. Like, here I was thinking that the destruction of the U.S. infrastructure and governmental systems would be because of automation. So I chose a career path that couldn't be automated. Yes, they exist. They actually exist. I was surprised myself, being what it was. And no, I'm not a fucking, I'm not like some kind of, fancy smancy, music fucking majored like, oh, robots can't take my job. People want to hear people play. I'd rather hear personally good fucking proper music, no matter the creature, AI, robot, what have you that is making the music. Fuck a human. I'd rather listen to perfect, well constructed, and well orchestrated music, and that's just the end of it, to be honest with you. But I digress. It's just great to know that the fact that all that effort into looking for this job and looking for this job market was for naught, and basically there was never any point to it anyway because the world was just going to end. Like, there's not going to be enough oxygen for me to fucking breathe in a couple of years. The fucking ice caps are melting. And you know, here I am sitting in my college dorm, pissing off my roommates. I have a room to myself for some fucking reason, but my two other roommates, who shan't go named, probably fucking hate my guts. And by probably, I mean like dead honestly. And that's just the full part of it. You know, honestly, like I keep personally just a bottle of pills next to my bed, just in case if I wake up in the middle of the night and finally have the gall to actually just to do it. It's there. The option is readily available. But I'm gonna be honest with all of you. It's that's the whole thing. I think with my life and where it is that no matter how much I hate myself, no matter how much I hate my predicament, I don't think I'll ever be able to find within myself the willingness and the wherewithal to actually end it. Like, oh God, just whew. But yeah, I think that the future of the planet is basically just we're fucked. We're fucked as a species. A slight side note: if you drive a Honda Civic, like me, I would highly recommend reevaluating most decisions in your life. Reevaluate your friends. Reevaluate life choices, like, you know, major, job, you know, just all of it really. And you'll find that for the most part, that life really is not going to go your way, and giving up now is probably just the best solution. Do with that information what you will. I know what I've done with it, which is finding myself thousands of dollars in debt with no reprieve in sight, except death. That's all I've got really running for me. So take with this information what you will. I know what I'll be doing with it. But until that point, we're here to stay, me and you. I guess the next conversational topic that I have written down here is gun violence. Let me be completely frank with you. I have always followed the policy of the more guns, the better. But hear me out. That is not because, like, oh, you know, Jay's a big bad conservative. He's really trouncing them libtards, really shoving it to them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's not from a place of that. It's actually from a place of the more guns that are readily available, I believe, the more likely I am to die via, like, bystander. I was just browsing on the internet today, and I saw that there was this young 13, fuck, just ripped ass. That's going in. I don't edit any of this out, so there you are. I was browsing on the internet today, and I saw there was this kid, this 13-year-old boy, who was walking on the street with his like two pals, and a gunfight broke out between two gentlemen in two separate vehicles. One stray bullet managed to catch this kid, and the poor kid died. The poor kid fucking died. You know, God bless him. You know, rest in peace. My condolences to his family, really. But the lesson that I've taken away from that is there is a fucking good. The more fucking guns there are, the bigger the likelihood that that shit happens again. It fucking pains my heart to hear that that kid fucking died. I'm serious. Like, I don't wish that shit on anybody, but goddamn, do I wish it on myself? You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I'm jealous, you know, of the kid, but what I am saying is that statistically speaking, the more guns that are available, um, honestly, the quicker my death could come, right, without it being in my own hands, because Lord knows, I'm not gonna do it. I can barely get myself to get out of the bed in the morning. You think that I'm really gonna be able to follow through with that many steps and that many, you know, like synchronization and that planning? Fuck no, I don't have that kind of focus. Fuck, dude, I can barely like string together enough sentences for a college essay. Hell, I can't even really do that properly if you want to talk to my college 101, you know, writing fucking professor. Jesus. That woman must think that I literally like have no capability of higher thought. That's actually something very interesting. I think I'm going to bring up instead of this last thing. I'll save this last thing for another episode. But I was in my Psych 110 class, which is an introduction to psychology. And you would be surprised to find there are actually individuals that are born without like a whole brain, like a whole ass brain. Like there are people that were born with just a brain stem. So like in the brain stem, right, there's the medulla oblongata, which controls, you know, breathing and heart rate, which is interesting in and of itself. You know, like if you were trying to like shoot yourself, like the goal is to shoot that thing, because that, like, if you take that thing out, you're dead instantly. Like there's not even any pain. Like you're just dead instantly. But the brainstem basically controls like almost everything to do with like homeostasis. So like so long as you have a brainstem, you are capable of just you being alive. But like the upper portions of the brain, like the midbrain and the upper portion of the brain, the cerebral cortex with the four different sections, those are all responsible for higher level thought and emotions and like movement and sensory information. So technically speaking, you don't need them for in a technical sense. Like you could be a vegetable, but you'd still be alive without those parts. But here's the funny thing: there are people who are born without those portions, right? So you'd think, oh, you know, they're born without those portions, so like, you know, they're born blind, deaf, and incapable of higher functioning thought. But that's actually not the case. The brain has an extreme amount of elasticity when it's younger. So these fuckers are just straight up born and are capable of higher functioning thought and don't even know that, like, besides like a couple of like minor issues with like, you know, higher level thought that come up. They're born and their brains just kind of work shit out, I guess, with like the small amount of gray matter that comes with the brainstem, and just kind of like work with what they've got. And so these fuckers, they walk around for a majority of their life. Hell, I'm pretty sure there are probably people out there who don't know that they were just born with a brainstem and they don't have a full brain. I might have just a brainstem. You might just have a brainstem. Does that thought not like fucking scare you? Like seriously, like I wasn't like shocked to the point of like, oh, I'm gonna faint. No, but I was like, it made me stop and sit there and think and just be like, what the fuck? You know, like it never occurred to me that this was something that like people actually suffer from. Like, you know, people get, you know, have strokes all the time and break their Broca's area, their Varanix area, what have you, you know, or, you know, damage parts of their brain and lose certain capabilities because of that. Phineas Gage, for example, guy fucking got his entire frontal lobe blown out and lost his entire personality, but he was still capable of, functioning. And did you know that some people actually believe that, like, that there was a lot of hyperbole around the Phineas Gage case, because he reportedly, after he lost his job at, like, this mining place or the railroad people, after they fired him, he was working with fucking farm animals. Like, and then they said, like, he was super violent and, like, abusive to animals. Like, do you think they would keep, like, a barn hand around that was abusing their fucking animals? Like, personally, I don't think they would keep someone like that around. I highly doubt it, actually, that they would keep someone like that tending to their farm animals. So, like, that's, like, the basis is, like, people are saying, like, there was a lot of hyperbole around the way that he was acting, and that people, like, there was just, like, a mild change in his personality, but, like, for publicity, they played it out like he was, like, he turned into a fucking monster, which is, it's neither here nor there, you know what I'm saying? But, like, I guess it comes down to brass tacks. It falls up to personal interpretation, believe what you want to. But, just shit like that makes you think. What time is it? I think 16 minutes is enough. I don't know if the fuck you would measure this. What's a good size for an episode of a podcast? I'd say 16 minutes is enough, right? Yeah. Well, it's been lovely. Again, this is your host. My name is Jay. It's been lovely hosting you. This is the pilot episode of the College Dropout podcast. And this is me, your boy, signing off.